Buenas noches, fuckers. Well, I was going to have a Newton session, but as the day has gone on, I've got aches and pains, and I think I might be coming down with everything that the kids have had. So I've got less and less as it got later, and I thought, fire out, I'll go to bed. But the logic, what is the logic behind your gravity? What we have, the new moon, okay? The new moon, this is when we get the highest of the tides, okay? At least where we are, right? The moon and the sun, they're both pulling on the water from Earth, right? That is strongest pull. So you look at that and you think, yeah, you know what? It does make sense, okay? It does, if there were really gravity happening. Let's go on to the next one. So then we have the first quarter. And this one is the lowest tides, right? The first quarter it's called the lowest tides. Because apparently the moon and the sun have a little bit of a tussle. But the sun apparently neutralizes the moon's pull. Now, why? Where is the logic? If the sun is pulling that way and the moon is pulling that way, would we not get quite a hefty tide there in the middle? Yes, you would think so. If we apply common sense and a bit of logic, it's the only way it would happen, isn't it? How on earth can that be the position of the lowest tides and the third quarter when it's above Earth, right? How does that make sense? Let's go to the last one. And here we have it. The full moon position. The second highest tides. In fact, there is not much difference between the new moon when it's here and we cannot see it because of the sun and the full moon position. This is the highest, full new moon there, sun, both pulling. Second highest, not much lower. Logic, where is the logic? There is no logic. This is what I mean by everything that is logical has become illogical, and everything that is illogical is now logical. The moon is pulling on Earth, the water. Sun is pulling the opposite way. These two will never have a bigger tussle if the moon really were applying any gravity onto Earth's water, which it obviously isn't, because the four highest tides on Earth, are all up north. They're all up north. Bay of Fundy, Ungava Bay, the Bristol Channel in the UK, the Cook Inlet in Alaska. They are all up at the top. The moon orbits us along the equator. See where the black line is, right? Why is it that in the Gulf of Mexico, it's some of the lowest tides? Why is it that in the Mediterranean, it's some of the lowest tides? Why? Where is the logic? I find it fascinating that people think that there is logic anywhere to be seen here. And what about the last one? And then I'm going to go to bed. Tide comes in, the slack tides comes in. It can be slack for up to an hour, between 5 minutes and an hour. And then when it drops, it goes back out, or it drops the same way that it came in. Bulge. What bulge? What bulge? What bulge is happening? The moon is going around. What bulge? Why is it going and stopping for up to an hour if Earth is spinning and the moon is spinning around us? Hour. And then, oh, okay. And then it goes back out the same way. Folks, there is no logic to be found anywhere. Please, Let me know that you understand your science. Could it be a case of this?
What do you think is the strongest argument today that gravity really does need to ultimately be quantum mechanical?
Yeah, that's a great point, actually.
Great point. Bullshit needs to be quantum mechanical. Folks, gravity, quantum mechanical. The logic has gone. The logic flew with the common sense and rational thought processes. All of it gone. Where is the logic? In the full moon and the sun, both of them pulling against each other. Why are they the second highest tides? It's ridiculous. And don't even bother trying to drop a logical answer because there isn't one. Again. All right, folks, I'm going to hit it. I might not be back tomorrow. I hope I am. I can feel something heavy coming on. All right, buenas noches. Laters.